I always wonder if you guys can like hear my music when I do these things because sometimes it gets fuzzy. Let me make sure the back end stuff. Sing it to me. You don't have Telegram on this computer. So sure. But no. And we go. I have to mute you, I think. Yay. Hi, baby. Good to see you. Well, see your name. Singing to me glory. Okay. We're done with the music today. Hi, how are we feeling today? How's everyone doing? How are you, my love? The chat box is your friend. Hello, hello. I'm so excited for this lesson because one, it's my birthday week, so I'm excited. I am a little sick today though, so my energy is not going to be as spicy as normal. If you see me looking, we have a new setup here in my little office, and so my stuff is over here. I'm still with you. You're over there. So we'd be looking back and forth. But I'm really excited to talk about flirting today. And this whole thing came up because one, Libras are known to be being super flirty. And since we are in October, I wanted to talk about this, but not just even in the dating realm, because I know we have a spectrum of people that are married, they've been in a relationship for a long time. We have people that are new to dating, people that are currently in the dating season. There's this full spectrum, but dating in general comes from the sense of self-confidence. And I've been experimenting a lot with my content and just these conversations. And as I'm building out Alchemy of Love and refining some things, this is a big thing. We want to feel confident. We want to feel empowered in who we are. We want, am I recording? Yes, I am. We want to feel good. And so today, what I'm going to be walking you through is a 3-step formula of how I healed my confidence wounds, because y'all see like the after, right? Like you get to see this version of me who really loves herself, who can travel wherever she wants, takes herself on dates, and I love me. Y'all didn't see the version of me a decade ago who would have panic attacks if her friends left me. My friend, she sent my high school best friend, my childhood best friend, had messaged me when I was sharing this on my stories the other day. And I forgot how shy I used to be, but I was talking about how I don't talk about this a lot because it's so far in the past, but I forget the growth that took to get here. And I was saying how, I used to be such a shy person. And she's like, yeah, I literally had to order for you at McDonald's. Like I couldn't even order that kind of thing. So imagine me going on dates and trying to flirt with people or trying to get dates. It just didn't work. And I used to, when I was younger, be the super live, super rambunctious human being. That's why in the alchemy journey and the alchemy of love journey, it's not about becoming someone new. It's about remembering who you always were, because I was that type of person. I would put a box down on the driveway and put on like Spice Girls or some band, and I would stand on the box and I would just like scream and dance, and I was alive and I could talk to any strangers, and I was so in my life and so me. But because of bullying and sexual assaults and a lot of broken hearts and men cheating on me and just family dynamics of being told I should be seen but not heard, and all this stuff being projected onto me, I closed that part of myself, and I didn't know how to flirt and I didn't know how to do anything. And so fast forward to when I did open myself up to wanting to date in my like early 20s, I was slamming shots before going on dates. I wouldn't travel by myself. Like me moving to Asia took my mother passing away to just like be like, I don't know what to do with my life and I'm going to go run away from my problems. Like it blew everyone away that that's what I did, because I was such a codependent, trauma bonded, fearful of everything human being. Fast forward to now where I literally just uprooted my entire life to move to a place I've been wanting to move to. I've been out like every single day on dates, on coffees and networking events. I've been asked to speak on things. You guys see me on the internet. I share a lot of my stuff. You guys get my heart and you are my family, right? Like not like actually, but like this is such a safe, like soft corner of the internet isn't like light to me. Like I can vulnerably share these things with you. And so that transformation is big. And I want to bridge that gap. I really want to bridge that gap because what seems so easy to me now is being really reflected back to me, whether it's through my one-on-one clients, whether it's through my friends, even when I talk about stuff, it really, you forget. And so how are we going to feel today if I give you the 3 ways that I did heal this? And then I'm going to give you, I don't even know, I was on a typing rampage. I'm going to give you 7 ways to cultivate more flirtation in your life, in your relationship, in your business, in your health. These are things like we flirt with life. Yes, we're going to direct this at our partnerships because that is what we do here, but it's life. We flirt with life. So I'm going to talk about the 3 reasons of how I healed this. And then I'm going to give you those 7. Then we're going to get out of here because I need a nap. It's been a long day. Anyone? Oh, this is another thing I want to talk about. Y'all, the Love Club. Recently arrival, the Love Club, like we are up leveling. We've seen some things happen. We've gotten great feedback. We're making things so much more tangible in here and so much more streamlined based on different stages that you're at. So you're going to know directly where to go. It's all broken down. You're getting way more, but in a way that you know where to go. What I mean by that is Telegram is chaotic. So when you go into your portal, you're going to see what I've been working on all day is it's going to be broken down into each stages. If you guys are watching the replay on this, you already know this because you see it, but I know this is for anyone that's new in there. It's all broken down into stages. It's very clear. It's like, hey, I'm looking for vulnerability and communication. Great. Here, go right there. Hey, I'm looking how to flirt and get the partner. Great. Here, I'm looking at confidence. Great. Here, like it's so clear and so tangible and so direct. So you know where to go. So you're going to see that all revamped. I would send out an email. I'll probably send out an email. It's just going to be like, go look in your portal and it's different. It's going to be too hard to explain and just like an email, and who reads emails anyways. Anyone else got ADD in our group? But it is getting a makeover. We still are going to be using Telegram because that's the community center and we're going to be building things out. So I read many of your emails. Yay. Okay. I'm happy you do. We've spent a lot of time doing them, but yes. So you're going to have that clear. You're going to have the community aspect. It's just a thing that I see a lot in, and this is how you go through building a business and relationships and life. You try a whole bunch of shit until you figure out what sticks. And I feel a lot in this industry and I got wrapped up in it. There's a lot of fluff. There's not a lot of tangibility and directness. And I want to make things super direct for you guys. Here's what's the block. Here's how to get over it. Here's what the block is. Here's how to get over it. Here's where we're going to get you so that you can get on this transformation journey a lot faster and a lot more clearly, because confusion gets no one anywhere. So you're going to see that inside the portal. I'm really excited. We have VIP experiences available. We have Alchemy of Love available, all the good things. I'm really excited. I went to a conference and my mind is completely blown, and we are going to continue to roll with that. So I think that's housekeeping rules that I had to say. Can you tell I'm sick? My noise is like, I haven't been sick in so long. I don't know what to do with it. Okay. So why is dating so hard? Not dating. Why is flirting so hard? I guess that goes hand in hand with dating. Why is flirting so hard for a lot of us? Anyone have any guesses? So I went through my journey and was looking at, why was I so shy? Why was I playing small all the time? Why was I so frustrated sitting on the sidelines being like, they should talk to me. If they were interested in me, they would come up to me and they would talk to me. I'm obviously looking at them closed off on my laptop, hunched over, like obviously open for invitations, guys. Why aren't you talking to me? looking at all of this, the three things that I saw, first one being the fear of rejection. We know this, and yet we fall to it every single day. Why don't we reach out to that person that we want to work with? Why don't we give flirty eyes to the sexy man at the gym? Why don't we tell our husbands how we actually want to be touched and explore in the bedroom? Why don't we bring out that playful side of us with our partners, where it's that childlike joy that you're craving inside of you with your partnership, because that's our natural feminine essence. Why don't we do that? Fear of rejection. And it stops us from living the biggest life. But the thing that I'm playing with more and more lately, and what helped me overcome the fear of rejection was, and I'm going to get into the other ones, but apparently my mind wants to go there right now, but is really looking at, I had more regret about not doing the things that I was going to be rejected for than actually getting rejected. Like, getting rejected, yeah, it fucking sucks. I have big abandonment and rejection wounds, just from cheating and advancing in relationships, plus just different dynamics. But those didn't hurt as much as when I didn't do what I wanted to do and then things ended. For example, one of my past relationships, I'm a very playful person. I'm a very driven person. I'm a very passionate person. And this person was not. So I didn't want to be fully who I am. I'm a lover. I'm a lover. That's why this whole thing is my brand. I'm a deep, deep lover. Passionate, playful, like, I am all over you. I'm obsessed with you. Like, that is who I am. But because this person was a little bit more closed off, I was like, okay, I guess this is what we do now. Like, this is how we kiss. This is how we have sex. This is how we date. Like, it's very proper. Okay. And honestly, at those times, I was okay with it. I like said in my mind, I was like, sure, this is what we do. This is how love is. And I would have these twinges in my soul, like this, like, ping that I wanted more, and I wanted to be more, and I wanted to show up more, and I wanted more. But I was afraid of being rejected. Post that relationship ending, and that person broke my heart. But what broke my heart more was that I wasn't even me. Like, to come out of a relationship and be like, you didn't even know me. You didn't even know me. Whose fault is that? This one. Me. Me, Mario. My fault. And so if I want something to change, I have to change. I have to learn that lesson. And I would love to say that that was the final time that I have overcome rejection. But no, I navigate this every single day. I navigate this every single day, where it's the belonging wound, it's the rejection wound, it's the discomfort of those things, where then you have these stories in your mind. And I'm sure you can think back to this, of how many times did I let the fear of rejection actually get in the way of me doing what I wanted, that after I came out of it, I'm like, fuck, I should have done that. Like, I should have done that. Not I shouldn't have done that. I should have done that. That's the number one dying thing that people say on their deathbed, is I should have. I wish I wasn't so afraid. And so it's this thing where it's like, we think when we're dating and we're in a relationship and we're flirting and we're doing these things, that fear is going to go away. It's not. You're going to feel it. I feel it when I walk into a room. I feel it when I'm dating new people. I felt it yesterday with someone that I'm dating. Like, they're there. It's just this, but I know the outside. I know what, if I don't speak in the way that I want to speak, or say what my standard is, or flirt with you and touch you in the way that I want to touch you, and like be cute and open my heart, even though you might break it in a few months, a few years. And that's, I know the aftermath of that is I would be more mad at myself of not living in alignment for who I am. See, flirting, and this is what birth alchemy is like, flirting is so easy when you're in alignment with who you are. Flirting with life, meeting new people, opening conversation, because you're not necessarily looking at them to validate that for you anymore. A lot of times we're not even being vulnerable and opening ourselves to a lot of these invitations and networking and opportunities, because if we don't get it, then it means less of us. But if you truly know who you are and you know what your why is, I'm just offering it to you. And if you don't want it, you're a ding dong. I'm gonna go over there because they're probably gonna like it. And then you carry on with your life. But knowing who you are and knowing what your why is, like the true confidence in who you are, that fear of rejection is there because we're human, but it doesn't drive your life anymore. Is that landing for you? That makes sense? Hey, Rob. In the house. Sorry, she's coming on. So, fear of rejection, the first one. Next one is need for validation. Why is flirting so hard? Because a lot of us that are ambitious and anxiously attached have this strong need for validation and reassurance in relationship. Any type of relationship. We thrive on it. That's what we've been doing our whole life. We've been getting the stamps of approval and all these kind of things. And it's telling us, okay, you did good because you get an A. And again, going back to the fear of rejection, we're using this as some type of validation where if I'm reaching to you and I'm extending my olive branch to you, I'm doing this as a way of like, do you approve of me? Like, do you approve? And I was trying to explain this to my friend the other day, where it's like women have this cute little way that we're like slightly manipulative. Now we are very manipulative with our emotions, with using sex, with all these kind of things. And so when we don't know how to actually use this superpower for good, it can come out in these ways where it's like, okay, I'm going to act like the nice girl. I'm going to act like the good girl. I'm going to do these kind of things so that you can validate me. And then also, but if you reject me, it's just this like puzzle piece that we're putting too much weight into. We're sitting there going, okay, well, I'm going to flirt-ish in some type of way that doesn't actually feel in alignment for me, but I saw Laura talk about it this way, and I see all these sexy women on the internet doing it this way, so I'm going to do it so you can validate me, so maybe you can choose me, but also this isn't feeling very authentic for me, and now I just kind of feel gross, so I guess I'm just not good at flirting. Have you ever felt that? The amount of masks I've tried on to be good at flirting, the limit does not exist. And I didn't realize the thing that makes me good as flirting is being me. It's me. I'm not telling you to flirt. Like, I'm going to give you, yes, I'm going to give you 7 things to start to pay attention to. But the way that you start to look at these is you're how you uniquely do this. I am uniquely me. My job as your guide is for you to become the hero of your own journey, so you feel confident to validate yourself, so that when you are being this playful, I know, Kira, you were talking about this, where it's like you're this naturally playful, like childlike self, and you get to come out and like do, like that is uniquely you. That's an element of me too. There's also the super refined part of me. There's these different kinds of things. And when you know all of these parts of yourselves, which only comes from trial and error, you're no longer looking for this person sitting across from you, your husband sitting across from you, these new friends sitting across from you, these potential clients sitting across from you to validate you. There's a really good book that changed my perspective on all of this, where it's called Go for No. It's a sales book, but we have a big fear of the word no. That's why a lot of us don't put ourselves out there. Again, rejection and validation, the more that I'm talking about this, the more that I'm seeing that they're very aligned. So when we're going in, we're fearing this no, and we have this mental block around the word no, we block ourselves. We're faking it. We're looking for you to validate me. But when you actually realize the more no's you get, the closer you are to a yes in everything in life, you can start counting your no's. So they'll talk about that in sales teams and whatever, like congratulating the no. Like the yes is just a thing, but like the no is actually getting you closer to the big yes. And it's the same thing for flirting. It's the same thing for dating. It's just experimenting with all these kind of things of like, It's okay. Like, if you don't like what I'm selling, I like what I'm selling. I'm too much for a lot of people. A lot. And I used a lot of drugs and I tried to shrink my body because of that for a very long time. Because I was told that my own father, we don't have a relationship. I'd rather love him from afar than have tension being up close. But he has said it time and time again since I was a little girl. You're too much. So flirting and putting myself out there with flirting, I was like, oh, let me just be seen but not heard. Let me be quiet. Let me shrink who I really am, because I don't want to feel rejected like that. And if I'm because I'm a high achiever, I want to be chosen by you. I want to be validated by you. I'm not getting my stamp of approval on my report card. And in order to do that, I somehow have to MacGyver my way and manipulate my way into this so that you like me. Because obviously you can't like me for me. So how can I get your validation? Let me be something else. So let me somehow fake this flirting. And so that's one of the fears. You were putting way too much validation. We are overemphasizing what other people have for us, their opinions of us. And it's human nature. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just catching it. It's catching it when it happens. For example, I guess it's a flirting with life example, but I went to this huge fucking conference by myself last minute last week. I walked in, and normally at networking events, like, me selling and business wise is fine. And for some reason, because everything has been so new in the last month, like, my body, I got in there and I was like, oh, we're afraid of this. And so I went, and I like to just get another coffee. That's not the best thing for my nervous system, but I love to hold something hot. It happens to be more caffeine. So I sat there and I was like, I'm gonna get coffee, caffeine drunk, and just sit in this corner. And I FaceTime my friends and they're like, I've never known you to freak out. And I was like, me either. This is fun. It's been a while. And so I had a moment where I let myself be a human. And then I remembered what I was going to talk to you guys about today. I was like, we're stepping into Flirty As Fuck October. Why am I thinking I don't belong here? These people don't know me. I don't know them. Where am I overemphasizing their validation of me versus who I know myself to be? Because my mind was going wild. I don't make enough money, as much money as them. A lot of them are married in couples. I don't really even know that much about ClickFunnels. Like, the world that I was in that day, I was like, I don't know. And then I remembered all the other things that I've done in my life. Y'all, it was the most expansive experience of my life. The tables I was at, the people that I met, and I was me. Like, I wasn't trying on anyone else. And I was able to flirt with the people around me because I naturally will flirt with everyone by being me. Because of this awareness of, oh, there's that cute little younger part of myself that's trying to, like, not be bullied in middle school right now and wants to belong, to I'm 30, almost 31. Where am I overemphasizing their validation of me because it doesn't actually fucking matter? And how can I validate myself? How can I see what I've done? How can I look at how far I've come in the last 10 years and use that as my piece of, you fucking belong here? And from there, I was able to show up with this confidence to walk into the room and to talk to these wildly successful human beings and feel okay. That, to me, is the art of actually being flirty as fuck, is this actual confidence. And so, fear of rejection, a need for validation. And then, why is flirting so hard? Because we overanalyze these interactions. Again, we put so much emphasis on these things of, what are they going to think about me? How many times have you left a conversation and you think about it for 2 weeks? Shouldn't have fucking said that. Or you think of the best comeback. Anyone else, you think of the best comeback after the conversation. I digress. But you're overanalyzing these interactions because that's what us anxious people do. And so when we're flirting, and whether, again, I know we have such a wide spectrum of humans in here, of married, divorced, fresh to dating, in the dating world right now, like flirting in general, we overanalyze every word. And so when we're going into it, we're trying to find the secret formula. And then we're sitting there and we're thinking about the last time we tried to do this and made the advance on this. And this time when I tried to talk to my husband about this, or I tried to make an advance and be like the cute girl. But then he broke my heart and I felt too quick and I got over analytical and blah, 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 blah. Like our minds, they're so powerful. I hope your brain is a favorite thing about you too. It's mine. But it's a fucking monkey brain. I literally had a team meeting this morning and they're like, your brain. And I was like, we know. They're like, we love it, but gotta keep up with it. It's a lot. They're over analytical. And oftentimes, if we don't catch it, it goes this way. And it gets in the way of us actually flirting with life. Had I let my brain actually get away from me, I don't think I would have had the mind-blowing, soul expansive experience I had at this conference. Had my brain gotten away from me, I don't think I'd be having the connection that I'm having with this person. Guys, I'm dating someone. I haven't told you guys yet, but I wouldn't be having these things. I know. My brain would be going over these ways. Granted, my brain is doing these things, but me and my friend were sitting on my couch the other day, actually, where it's so nice to be able to sit and be like, I have two parts of my brain. I have this limbic system. I have my amygdala. I have the normal tendency of a human, and I have me. And to be able to have these things coexist, you can feel the overanalytical brain happening, and you just watch it happen without attaching to it. And so, how is this all landing for you guys? The 3 ways why flirting is so hard. I wanted to make this a different conversation than what maybe you were expecting, flirting and conversations. But also, I feel like you guys have been in my world for a while. You know, we're never going to talk about directly what you think we're going to talk about. And so why is it so hard? The fear of rejection, the need for validation, and the overanalyzing interactions. This is all the flip side of the high achiever mind. We have these fears. It's also what gets us ahead in life. It's what drives us. It's that masculine wounding, that proving energy. It's these kind of things, but it blocks our femininity if we let it run too wild. And it gets in the way of us being flirty as fuck and navigating life and showing up in our power and doing the things that will get us the results that we want. The results that we want being embodied, confident, feminine, lusted after, getting invitations, feeling magnetic. That's what being flirty as fuck is. When I leave my house, I get an invitation to anything. I write things down in my manifestation book. It happens within days. I make the running joke that whenever my friends are here, I'm like, watch me not pay for anything this whole weekend because I just don't feel like it. And I don't. And they get weirded out by my witchcraft. It happens when you do this work because you look at these 3 areas that are holding you back. You alchemize it so that you can crack things open, and then you can start flirting with life, with men, with friends, with business, with yourself. And life is just like, we've been waiting, because that's what alignment is. Everything is a flirtation, but we put so much weight on it. So how are you feeling about this? How are you feeling? What's going on? How's your day? All the things. I don't know why I asked it's yesterday, but how are we feeling about this? Is this landing? Do we have any questions before I move into the 7 ways we can start flirting more with life? Or we landing? Pew, pew, pew. Okay, I'm hoping I can get this through before the sun goes down, because my lamp is all the way over there and I didn't even plan this out. Clearly, we're learning later night things. Oh my God, my foot's stuck under my butt. Okay, here we go. So 7 ways to flirt. One of the big ones, you guys saw me share this on my Instagram today, maintaining eye contact. Maintaining eye contact is one of the most powerful things to start initiating conversation that a lot of us get afraid of. I know when I first was made aware of this, that I was playing small and that I had a big vulnerability and intimacy block, whether it was men, women, clients, like all the things. I couldn't look at people. As I was on a date with this guy and I had been dating him for a while. And we were sitting on his staircase and he just grabs my face and he's like, make eye contact with me. I'm like, look at me so close. Like everything in me felt like hot lava. You know, we see this. People don't want to make eye contact in the bedroom. They want to only have sex with the lights off. People sit at tables. I don't know if you've noticed this, but like if someone's having a conversation with you and you're meeting them and they just like look down, or they're like constantly like they're eating and they're just like looking down, like they don't look at you. It's an avoidance strategy. It's an intimacy blocker. And it's very common with people that have had trauma. They cannot emotionally connect in this way because eyes are the gateway to the soul. I can tell you that I'm happy, but your eye, like I can say that I'm happy. And if you looked at my eyes, like you could tell a different story. And that's what trips people up. And so when we are hiding something or we have confidence issues or we're afraid of someone truly seeing us, look away. And so there's also a way of doing this because I can also do it the wrong way sometimes because I get into stuff and I'm like, and they're like, please stop staring at me. It's really freaking me out. It's like, you don't hold the whole time because it's a lot of pressure, but it's, you know, you're looking. You guys see me do it when I'm doing these things. Sometimes I just get confused which hold that I'm supposed to be looking in. Honestly, that happens a lot of the time. That's why I'm looking at all three of them. And then I look away and I'm like, I don't actually know. But it's, you hold it for a while and then you look away because it creates intimacy, it creates connection. And so a way that I talk about building this, because it is a scary thing. Like I said, I was terrified when this man said it to me. What I started to do, because I wanted to be that type of person. I wanted to be the person that can hold eye contact because to me, the people that can hold eye contact command a room. They're confident and you feel it. And I wanted to be that. So I started to train myself. I would go on these walks on the trail and I would have my sunglasses on and I knew no one could see me because I already checked in the bathroom before I left to make sure that they were blacked out sunglasses because I'm crazy. And I would go and I would hold eye contact with people that couldn't know that I was making eye contact with them. Practice because I was scared. And I would just go on the journey and that's how I'd practice. And so I have my clients do that as well. Really funny. And then you get more comfortable. And the way that I'm saying it, I know it's funny, but what's really happening is you're training your nervous system that it's safe. It's safe that you're holding eye contact and nothing bad is happening. And although you have your shield of protection, and have you ever seen like Billy Madison or whatever that movie is, where he's like, no one can see me, my invisible glasses. That's literally where this idea came from. I was like, these are my invisible glasses. Like you can't see me. It's great. And so I started doing that. And then I started with not wearing sunglasses and just seeing people on my walks and just smiling and then walking away and then going like just practicing in these ways to get my nervous system trained, because the more you do things, the less afraid of it comes. Because what happens is the hot guy comes in, or the person that we want to have the conversation with, or the client comes in and we haven't been training for this, and they come in and then all of a sudden you forget what your name is. And you're like, oh my God, why can't I talk? And it's like, because you haven't even practiced. You just tried to go to the NBA without learning how to dribble a basketball. That was a big leap. How do you feel? You know? And so it's just these little training wheels that you practice. And then eventually you get a little bit more comfortable and you can hold eye contact. It's what is your next 1% that makes you a little bit uncomfortable? Because then the more that you train it, I can hold eye contact with anyone. I'd like to play a game, actually. Sometimes whenever I'm feeling blue, I like to go on walks and just make eye contact with people because I will take their energy for a second to make me happy. I need that for therapy. Do it. Just walk in. You're like, these are my physical goggles. Can't see me. But how's that land for you? This is the first thing. I start with this because I know it's a stretch. A lot of us don't like doing it because it is a vulnerable thing, but we can practice small. I'm not saying you have to do it. You're in the bedroom and you're like making deep eye contact. You're like, look into my eyes, baby. Like, you don't have to start there. It can literally be with invisible goggles on your walk. And it starts to pave the way and change things. Working on it. I didn't know I struggled with this until recently. I know it's one of those things we're not aware of it because it's a protective strategy. This is what our nervous system does. They are adaptive strategies. They are our blind spots. We don't know about them until someone grabs our face and they're like, why aren't you looking at me? And you're like, I didn't realize it was, but now I'm realizing that I wasn't. And now this is really uncomfortable. Please stop looking so closely at me. And you just start to build it. Again, it's going to be uncomfortable. That's the point. Your nervous system is trying to protect you. It's an adaptive strategy. But it's what is your, again, you want to stretch your nervous system. You do not want to stress your nervous system. So what's that 1%? And how can you be intentional with creating that, especially when it comes to anyone that's looking and in that stage of dating, of trying to get people to come approach you? Holding eye contact is the first initial. And then you look and you look down and they're like, oh my God, she's looking at me. And you're like, I know. And then you look down and then you do it again and you hold it a little bit longer and you give a cute little smirk just so they know that they can come talk to you, because men have rejection wounds too. They are also, just like you are sitting there and your heart is fluttering and you're terrified, so are they. They just like didn't pop out of the womb and being more confident in us just because they should approach us. Like, it's not, that literally doesn't even make sense. They feel the same things you're feeling. They just want to make sure they're not going to get rejected. So if you can give them like one look knowing you're interested, two look, second look, a little bit longer with a smile, they're like, oh, I'm not going to get rejected. Like, you can come here and I won't reject you. And they're like, okay. I wrote this statistic yesterday. Oh, pickle. What was it? Ooh, let me find it. I need to find it. I want to say it was like 60%. Hold on. I wish I could play elevator music for you guys really quick while I found this. Oh my God, where did I write this down? Oh, wait. Hold. 70%. Okay, wait. In a study conducted by the University of Wisconsin, examining the role of social cues in human interactions, it was found that a smile made a man 70% more likely to, I did not spell this, whatever this is correctly, to approach a woman rather than just holding eye contact alone. It's like, this is safe. You can come talk to me. Smile is so good, and you can practice just smiling at strangers. I do this when I'm sad. I go out and I just smile at people because it makes me happy, and I borrow their energy, and I'm like, thank you for filling up my little energy cup. I gotta go now. Now I'm happy again. It works. It's great. It changes things. So a little smirk also with the eye contact. Okay. Second one, using light touch when appropriate. Obviously, we live in post-pandemic times, but light touch is so powerful in flirting, even with friends. Like, when you're like laughing and you like grab someone's hand and you like touch their leg, like, so intimate and so cute without like being intrusive. And it's so flirty and it sends, and it's just like this playful touch that creates this type of connection. Like a light arm while you're laughing, or a light touch on the arm when you're laughing. I had a client, she a lot of rejection wounds. And we worked through this over time, because anytime she'd be on a date, she's like this. She's like, don't touch me. And they're like trying, oh my God, I just looked at myself. Should not do that. Don't screenshot that. But anytime someone would like touch her, she's like, her body would close because of past relationships. And so she would start to be the one where she was at, where she would giggle and she'd try to get comfortable leaning in. She'd try to be the one that's like, hey, and like touching and light touch, things like that. And we forget, even with long-term partnerships. I have a client that was married for quite some years. They just get so used to living their separate lives. You get so used to not flirting with your partner. You get so used to just doing life that like a light touch passing someone like through the kitchen, and you're like, oh yeah, I'm thinking of you too. It's these things where it's just like it's a point of connection that we forget. In the beginning, we're like so giddy and we're like we like are afraid to touch them at first, and then we're like in that phase where it's like, I want to touch you all the time, and then we forget how cute it is to like be at dinner and just be like, oh my God, Miriam, touch me, touch my toe. Like, the things that we had in the beginning that we were so afraid to do, we now forget how important they are. And it's these types of things, especially for those that are physical touch type of people, which, let's be honest, we all have all 5 love languages. We just fancy some other ones. But physical touch is really important, especially the playful ones where it's just like, I love to like tickle people when I walk back somewhere. Just like rub their back. Like it feels so good. Think about it when your partner rubs his hand on your back just when he's going through the kitchen. It feels so reassuring. It's like, oh, you're there. I feel so safe. They like that too. It's just flirty. It's just fun. It opens this invitation. We all love it. So invitation to do that more. Just when it feels natural. Like don't just like I'm touching my partner's butt. Isn't it fun? You're just like, I love to pinch it, especially because I have these claws. I know that sounds painful, but a little pinch to grow an inch, you know? Do you invite more of this by initiating it more? Yes. So I get we're very stuck in this, like, I have to invite, and if I'm doing, like, they should do it because they're the man. The way that we play with this is like you're doing it and it gives them the permission slip, right? And so you're doing it and they're like, oh, she's modeling something. She's modeling this physical touch thing, and this feels good. And so you start to model the type of behavior that you want versus mirroring the type of behavior that you don't want, right? And so you're kind of leading, but then you lean back to receive. So it's masculine, feminine, masculine, feminine. We're balancing these things back and forth all the freaking time, but it's just fun. And like when they do touch you, it's talking about just like, oh, that made me feel so good. Like however your form of expression is, like the I feel statements. Oh my God, that made me feel so safe. Of like, oh my God, baby. Like it's just like giving that appreciation of the moment helps them, because men don't pick up on body cues or like the small things like we do, where we'll notice when he leans into it, right? No, they love the verbal confirmation of you. They're like, oh, she liked that, or like making a noise. They're just like, ah. I'm like, yep, she liked that. It's just like that. Does that help clear that up a bit? Third one, definitely. Okay, so we have maintain eye contact. We have use light touch. What I'm doing. This is why I don't teach late, guys. I get weird. And then we have 3, compliments sincerely. This is my biggest blocks in dating, in relationships, and life in general. I was not raised in a household where you don't get a good job. That's expected. Be like, there's no appreciation. My parents were not that type of loving type of thing. Like that wasn't what I was modeled at all. So saying like I thrive on constructive criticism. I was an athlete. My mother was my mother. And it wasn't a thing. It ruined a lot of my relationships. A lot of my relationships because I was a tough critic. And it wasn't until one of my partners, I said something and he was like, fuck, babe, like what goes on in your head to yourself that you think comments like this are okay? Or that you like, that men love appreciation. The masculine love appreciation. They love when you tell them thank you. They love the little moments. They love the little compliments. Like they're starved for this because they don't get it, because men are supposed to be tough. They're supposed to have it together. They're supposed to be asking you on a date. They're supposed to be paying. They're supposed to be picking you up. They're supposed to get you flowers. They're supposed to. And I get it. I trained my nervous system for this one because I wanted to be the type of person, again, that men like make your response to things something someone wants to do more of. So I am just an over the top human being, if you are starting to catch, because I'm showing more of my personality and my things. So when someone, like, I am overjoyed and it's not fake. Like if someone gets me flowers, I will probably cry. Like if someone does something where it's like, I didn't even know if I like you. If I don't like you, I'm like kind of weirded out by it and I get the ick. But if I like you, if someone pays, like I will always say thank you. I am always appreciative. I notice the little things. You open my door, I'm saying thank you. If you're doing something really well, like men love it. It's like they get 3rd place at the CrossFit competition. I'm like, what? Like you're so like, how do you feel? It's fucking amazing. And they're like, yes, because men, they don't celebrate things and they don't get appreciation and they don't have these things. And so these little touch points of like sincere compliments, telling your man he looks fucking handsome. Like, oh my God, babe, I'm gonna eat you for dessert. I can't wait. Like, they'd be like, what? You like this shirt? Okay. I see you. Like, we just think, but like, think of yourself. You love it when they tell you good job, when you pay attention, and not like there's a difference of it, of like the mother and good boy. Good boy, son. You did good today, chap. Slap on the butt. Good job. Like, there's such different energy because it's like forcing it, but like a genuine letting yourself feel how good it feels to receive whatever it is that they're doing, whether it's they literally bought you something or they blessed you with looking very sexy in those gray sweatpants. And you get to you get to feel it, because then the compliment is actually sincere. And it's not like a mothered, good boy, son. Do you get the two differences between that? Because that is a big thing. So they're gonna sit there and be like, I don't like that when it's a mom kind of vibe. Unless, I mean, if they're a grown-ass male, they're not gonna like it. So just like how you like compliments of like, you look really beautiful today. So do they. They love like, you're so handsome. Like, and I get it. It's like, it is vulnerable. Like I said, my mom, like I was not raised in this. It sounds so wild that this was one of the most vulnerable things for me to get and nail my nervous system around by practicing it and doing it, even when like I was like, oh my God, this feels weird. Like, is it gonna be too much? Like, all these wild thoughts in my head about giving a compliment definitely came in because it felt very vulnerable. But the way it's impacted my relationships, my friendships, my business, my clients, my work, me, because when you start doing these things outwardly, you're also doing it inwardly. And the sincere compliments are that internal voice starts to change. I love this one. Oh my gosh, it's already 47, guys. One day I'm gonna nail this timing thing. I swear to God. Okay, we're gonna do these ones quicker. Engage in playful teasing. So this one also used to scare me because I was like, oh my God, they're gonna get mad. There's this sexy tension that is what makes attraction happen. So when we actually play and we open up this childlike joy and we have this teasing, not in a mean way, not like you're fucking fat, go do something, like that's not what we do, but like teasing and joking and childlike joy and like poking fun and showing that you're comfortable with this person, because that's ultimately what teasing is like, I'm really comfortable with you, to like be a little kid and like do little things, I'm like be fucking weird. Men want that side of you. There's so many different parts of us, right? And that's actually what men love, where it's this, they know that the more they treat you and the more comfortable you are, the more you open up, and they're craving that. They're craving that side of you. And this playful teasing one is a big part for them, because that's what they do with their boys, although they're fucking mean with their fucking friends. But with us, it's like the teasing and the playfulness, like the childlike joy, the art of the feminine, that part of us that we keep locked up, especially as highly ambitious individuals that kind of most likely locked that part away from ourselves because we thought it wasn't valuable in high society or whatever the fuck. I know I thought that. I was like, CEOs don't act like this. Housewives don't act like this. And now I build forts in the middle of a Sunday when it's laundry day and I don't know what to do with my stuff. That's what I do. And people fucking love it because that's me. And so just bringing this part out, it's like, what's the teasing? What's the playfulness? How can we tease this out? How can we go with this? Kira, I know you fucking probably nailed this one already. You're so good at it. But it's looking at these things of like, how can I play more? And when you have the block to play more, it's a block, right? Because our natural tendency is human, again, going back to what's the alchemy process, it's not about becoming someone new, it's remembering who you were, remembering the playfulness that you had as a child, remembering how fun that was before you were told you got to grow up and be strong and lead things and do these things, all that stuff. Plus I have a small child now, so that's easier. That's true. When I was a teacher and I was doing one of these like personality things of like, how often do you play? I was like, literally every day. It's great. And I grew out of it a little bit when I started to build my company, and now it comes back into play. And it is one of those things, it creates this flirtation and this tension and this magnetism within your relationships. So any questions about that before I move on to the other one so that I can stand out? Oh my God, I did that one in 3 minutes. We're so good. Okay. So number 5, active listening, showing genuine interest in what the other person is saying. We're all selfish human beings. We're all a little bit narcissistic. It's okay. But listening without the need to respond is such a kink in flirting. When you're like, if you've ever sat down and like this is really in like beginning stage dating, and like then you get to like a few dates in and like they're really fucking there and you're like, oh my God, you're really listening to me right now. It's such a turn on. And it's those days at the end after long, like you've been in a relationship for a long time, and then you're sitting on the patio and you're like having a genuine conversation and you're both fully listening. That to me is one of the best types of flirting. And we forget because we're so hyped, because we're on our energy and we're listening and we're trying to pitch stuff and we're trying to be a certain way and we're thinking of these things and they're saying something and we want to remember something, but while we're trying to remember something, we're not actually listening to the next thing that they said. And then we're just lost in our thoughts thinking about building forts on laundry day. But when someone's truly with you, making eye contact, their body is like leaned into the story and they're fully present with you. And you're asking questions and you're engaging and you're repeating what they're saying. And often what happens is you end up sitting in the same way that they're sitting because you're just so in it, because your body language is syncing up. Being present with someone. So a way that I've learned this, because especially as a high achiever, is a transition out of work. So today I will not be doing this because I don't see anyone on Mondays because they're big CEO days. And I know this about myself, but say I have a late day, some other day of the week, and then I have a date with someone. I will go through a transition because I know if I don't, and if I just jump from this call and then some man comes and picks me up and I'm supposed to go to dinner right now, I'm not fucking listening to you. I'm like listening. I'm here because I'm a female and I can be in two places at once, but I'm not actually with you. So I like to do this method where it's the transition, where it's like I'll either take a shower or I would really like to go for a walk before I see anyone after being in different, whether it's a conversation with someone, whether it's work, whether it's life, whether it's my own stuff. I need a transition so that I know when I'm with whoever I'm with, I'm fully with them. So I go and I pace, or I shower it off of me, or I do some breath work, or I do some meditation, so that whenever I'm in the presence of anyone, I'm going to make sure it is the best time of your freaking life and that I'm with you and I'm not thinking about do I nail it every single time? No, there's sometimes when I am thinking about the 87 things that I'm going to do, like this weekend. But my friend was here and I couldn't stop thinking about work, and I was like, sorry, I'm trying. And it happens and it's okay. And it's being able to communicate that. But really, that active listening is so sexy. So if you can get that high achiever mind, that anxious mind, that over analytical mind to switch and use some tools of like, okay, what am I actually doing right now to switch off so I can be here when I go on this date? So I can be here when I'm up in this meeting. So I can be here when I'm with this client. What are your tools around that? I'm sorry if that was loud. And start to transition. That's what I like to call it. So it's just a transition between masculine to feminine, anxious into present, whatever you want to call it. It's just switching into these things and using these tools so that you can actually step in and show genuine interest and get to know the people that are in front of you. It changes everything, even with family members, with kids, with work, with life, all that kind of stuff. So that's how we shift from, especially, to be honest, high achievers, we're pretty fucking selfish. We think of ourselves. We want to pitch about ourselves. We want to talk about ourselves. It's just what we do. And when you can actually zip the lip and actually become a very good listener, everything in your life will change because you get to learn how to love people better and you learn things that are new. It's amazing. The sixth one. Okay, so we have maintain eye contact, use light touch, compliment sincerely, engage in playful teasing, active listening. 6 is body language. Your body language enters a room before you do. Your body language tells 50% of the story. So I can be body language and eye contact are kind of they blend very well, because you can be telling me that you're super into me and you can be telling me that you're really hyped right now and you really like all these things, but your body's like this, or you're like kind of frightened, or your arms are like this. It's all of these things. Oh, I just saw your thing. Listening is okay, but how do I remember? I have so many other thoughts that I forget the other person has told me, and I feel really bad. Same. I've gotten, so that's that aspect of presence is what I realized, because that was my problem for a really, really long time. It's like, I'm here, but I'm not present. And I'm listening, but I'm not present. But also, to be fair, mama, you just had a baby. You have mama brain. Your brain, actually, the makeup of it is focused only on baby and baby survival. I mean, there's other aspects of it, but memory for especially new moms, it does change the neural networks within your brain and how you remember things, because your survival part of your brain is focused on baby. So I'm sure you can remember everything about your baby and what they do, from the tiniest little things. And then when it comes into dating and other people, like, your brain does actually shift in those moments. So here's your permission slip on that if you needed it. But the other aspect of it, this is how I was, where it's like, I can listen to anything and I can have really good conversation, but then I would be like, I'll remember anything that person actually just said. I can't even remember their last name. Shit. And I was realizing more and more it's because I wasn't actually present in that moment, and I wasn't picking things to remind me of things that are important. I'm not going to remember everything. I have a lot of things that I do have to remember, especially in my line of work with lots of fucking people, but there's different elements of things that I will choose to remind myself. So what's his name? Is the brain guy for memory. But he talks about, like, when you're meeting people, or if they say something important, you like remember a fact about it. I don't know. What's an example of this? I can't think of one, but I will try at some point to think of one. I'm like trying to think of this like Pokemon example, but that's a pretty like prominent one to remember. I did actually, when I started dating this guy, anytime we'd leave a date, because I knew this was going to be a very serious partnership with me, I had a note section on my phone that if after the date, when I was on my way home and it was things that I wanted to remember, whether it was like his favorite type of cake or his shoe size or things like that, I would keep a note section on my phone, because I'm not going to remember all of that. But I know there's like certain things of like the first plane that he ever drove, or different elements like that. I would just use my phone and I would text it in my notes on my phone, and I labeled it with his name on the top of it. And it was really funny because it turned out he was doing the same thing about me. It's like, oh, great minds think alike. But that was also a way that really helped me, because I just also, in the beginning stage of dating, you're just kind of hyped, like you're pumped full of adrenaline. It's kind of hard to be fully present. And so those are some kind of tools that I used. Okay, back to body language. Guys, okay, body language, and then tension and mystery is one of the things. Yes, thanks for the idea. You're welcome, baby. So body language, your body language is you're going to hear me talking about this a lot coming up, because it needs to be spoken about. Your body language tells the actual story versus what's actually coming out of your mouth. So I can tell when you're uncomfortable, especially men. We can read body cues really well. Men can smell insecurity. So if your body is screaming, I'm insecure, but you're trying to yap your mouth out like you're something that's confident, they can smell it. And that's why oftentimes we're met with conversation of like, I don't know, there's just something. This also is with clients. This is also with selling stuff. Like, if it's not an actual embodiment and alignment, and you're just trying to sell it, granted, there is a catch up of this like fake it till you make it things. That is it. But if we haven't done the actual neurological subconscious reprogramming, which is what's inside of your daily vault, which is what alchemy of love is, which is what all that stuff is, and you're saying things, but your body is saying a different story, it really throws this human loop. And you've probably felt it with people where it's like, I should like you, like based off the things that you're saying, but like you're just kind of giving me the ick, as modern world keeps talking about it. That's what that is the body language of what you're saying they're not linked up. So when you're paying attention to your body, like, are you leaned back? Are you present? Are you open? Are you here? Are you clenched? Are you actually being aggressive in your body language? Are you closed off, but like you're saying you're open? It's just being aware. Like right now, my legs are crossed and open. My body is leaned back. I'm open with you. My heart is forward, because that's the kind of energy I want you to receive from me right now. I'll talk about more of that one over time. And then we have tension, mystery, and anticipation. Stop giving the full cake away, even in marriage, even like long-term. Always be mystery is what creates attraction. Tony Robbins talks about the 6 human needs, one of them being certainty, the other one being uncertainty. Why do you think the beginning stages of datings are so fucking hot? Because I don't actually know everything about you, but yet I crave certainty and I want to get into comfort. Esther Perel talks about this a lot, and mating in captivity, because, you know, we want to say we know everything about our person. We know all these kind of things. I never want that in my relationship, because then you're going to get bored. Also, I'm a different person every single day. So how could you fully know everything about me? But creating this mystery, like taking space away from each other, having some tension, like not disagreeing, but like you don't have to be each other's best friends and have the same things, that you're just like this. Like we see it way too much, this codependent desire in the world to somehow cultivate this false sense of safety, which actually is, it's the cock block to intimacy, because tension is what drives attraction. Tension. And when someone's mysterious, when you don't know everything about someone, you think about them. You're like, what are they doing? Like, what are they doing? That none of that made sense. Like, this was a different personality. We think about them longer, and then they come back in and they're like, I've been thinking about you this whole time. That's what creates it. Think about it. When something's a mystery offer, when we don't know what it is, like there is so much tension within that. And it's not to say we're going to be and play games. Make your life so interesting. Have your own life, so that when you come back into partnership, there's stories to tell. And they're like, who are you? Like, this is so cool. But if we get stuck in the mundane and the repetition and, you know, living side by side with someone, even in beginning stages, like especially in beginning stages of anxious attachment, a lot of us will be too quick too soon. We're telling everything. I just want you to know everything about me, so that then, you know, I don't feel vulnerable and I feel like you're going to figure something out about me. And then you'd break up with me if you didn't know, blah, blah, blah. Like we're giving them the whole fucking cake and then wondering why relationships don't last. They got sick of cake because you gave them everything. It's like your art as a woman, and I said this in so many master classes now, your art is pacing. Your art is slowing things down a bit, even in marriage. It's either slowing it down with having your own life and creating some mystery, and they're like, who are you? And you're learning a new skill, and they're like, what is this new sense of confidence? And creating this type of tension because they don't fully know you, that creates this attraction. And then in early stage dating, it's this mystery, like, I don't know you, and you're like, good, you don't know me yet. Can't wait to find out more. Like subscribe for more. It's those kind of things that when you can really master this and cultivate this art. The book that I'm reading right now is Art of Seduction, and that's what this whole book is about, is this mysteriousness, this confidence, because you're mysterious, and the space away, like, gets people addicted and obsessed with thinking about you, because they can't predict what you're going to do. And not in a way that makes you fucking crazy, and not in a way that makes you feel like you're playing games, but it's just genuinely who you are, because you're so aligned and alive in your life that you're trying so many different things, because you have your own life, because you're not codependent, because you really are cultivating a life that is fully aligned and fully on purpose. And that, my dears, is the 7 ways to be flirty as fuck this October. Again, we're going to talk all about this in the emails and all the kind of stuff. If you're watching the replay of this, you just get to watch this, because the emails won't be there, because that's not how that works. Anyways, so to recap, we have ways to do this is maintaining eye contact, using light touch, compliment sincerely, engage in playful teasing, active listening, body language, and creating mystery, anticipation, and tension. We're going to play with these. We're going to do some challenges. I'm going to actually do for my birthday, you guys are going to see me promote this, a 14-day confidence challenge of pulling all of these elements in so that more people can come to you. I'm going to be talking about men coming up to you, approaching you. It has to do with all these things to feel confident. These things are going to be translatable for business, friendships, being on your own, relationships, marriage, like all the things. It's all underneath it. The foundation is to cultivating all these principles for confidence. So you guys will see that in there. How are we feeling? Do we have any questions? I promise I'll get better at nailing how the times are on this so that we can have more time for Q&A. But let me know how this landed for you. This is so good. No, this was great. Oh my goodness. I wish I could screenshot this stuff. I always forget how to screenshot. Oh my God, I did it. Boom. Cool, I just did it. We're a tech girl. What's up, guys? Goes to one conference. We're a tech girl. Okay. I will see you inside of Telegram. I'm going to upload this to the vault. We're going to get the emails going for the month. We're going to get all the things. Go check out the vault, because I love Late Night Laura. She's weird, y'all. She's fucking weird. You'll see the updated vault. I'm gonna explain that. Maybe I'll shoot a video or something explaining it and then send it an email. But we're gonna be doing things a little differently. We're still gonna have our calls in this way, but we're gonna break things up into stages. So it's very clear for every stage. We'll still have our community calls. We still have Telegram. It's just more organized. We're learning how to be an organized woman. It's pre-housewife era. What's up? Okay. Bye, guys. Love you. Thank you so much. I'm gonna see all the other things. I love you. Yeah, you guys have a lot more access to a lot more programs. So go check it out. I love you. And I will see you inside of Telegram. Bye.